This episode of Professional Builders Secrets is brought to you by Apparatus Contractor Services. Apparatus provides full scope, end-to-end QuickBooks precision construction accounting and CFO services for residential builders. If you feel like you can't completely trust your weekly and monthly financial reports, or you feel like you're flying blind, Apparatus will rebuild and operate your QuickBooks accounting system and give you precision construction accounting capability you can trust. Learn more at apparatusteam.com or on the APB Rewards partner directory.
I don't know if you've ever used an AI tool for any type of design. The problem with it is it may look great, but it's not realistic.
Welcome to Professional Builders Secrets, the podcast for building company owners wanting to grow safely and securely. I'm your host, Will Blunt, and today I'm joined by Jackie and Matt Mosher from Dzinly. How you doing, guys?
Great. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you.
No worries. Matt, let's start with you. What is Dzinly?
Dzinly is a exterior design platform. So essentially a platform that connects builders, homeowners, and other professionals to everything exterior design, from renderings to the actual architecture to quantity takeoffs and things like that.
Very cool. Yeah, I stumbled across what you guys are doing and really excited to hear more about what that is and how you're helping residential builders, because I know you help consumers as well as the residential builders, which is our primary audience. Jackie, maybe I'll pass across to you. What inspired you to come up with Dzinly and start the company?
Well, it really started out of a need to be a visual tool for Matt's clients. And it just really took off from there. We saw not only, did his clients really need it, but then the word of mouth, and it was, everybody was very receptive and it was just caught on. So it just turned into so much more.
That's a good point. Maybe we should take a step back. Matt, you've been in the industry for over 20 years, I understand. Do you want to give a bit of a background on that?
Absolutely. So I started my company my first company when I was 17, and it was in the landscape construction space. At least I called it that. I don't think I knew what I was doing then, but I was officially in business. So, always been a bit of a visionary. Things progressed pretty rapidly from there. And in my mid-20s, I was doing some pretty substantial projects, both in the landscape construction world and then, basically high-end residential home building type applications. And over the years, I was always interested in staying on the forefront of technology. I had an appreciation for technology, although it wasn't that advanced when I was younger. I could see that what was coming. And so, one of the first things that I did is being a young guy, I was oftentimes competing with these older gentlemen and ladies that had a lot of experience. And so I'd show up and the client would think that they had the wrong person at the house because I had such a baby face. But I said, nope, I'm Matt Mosher and it's my company. So, I would always get the hesitation from the client. So I said, all right, some of the things, what can I do to kind of beat my competition, being a younger person compared to people that are a little bit more seasoned. And one of the things in the last 10 years is, if I could come up with a way for people to visualize their project. People will sit there and look at a plan and they will, pretend like they understand what that plan is going to look like. But once their house is built or any component is built, they go, wow, I didn't realize it was going to look like that. Right. So, so that's how I got into it. I got some young people that came and I paid them literally to learn how to do renderings. And I started to see that my clients were just totally in awe of not only what we had put together, but the architect for the house. So they've been working with an architect for months and months, unable to fully visualize what their house is going to look like. And then we would show them a rendering and they would go back to their architect and say, oh my gosh, I didn't realize it was going to look like this. So that's how it all started. And as we went along with that, I started to really, my business just it literally quadrupled just from that. Everybody wanted to use me because I could show them these beautiful designs in a visual manner. And so Jackie and I were on a plane one day and, she said, we should really do something for the masses, meaning, all the builders out there, anybody in the industry that needs help with this stuff. And that's how we started Dzinly. And the rest is sort of history up to this point.
How does it factor into accurate costing? Because one challenge I know many builders have faced before is a consumer might want to build a house. They go to an architect, they get something designed, and then they come to the builder and it's very mismatched between what they're expecting the cost would be and what the actual design is. How does your software and your experience kind of play into that?
Well, one of the things we're doing, and Jackie can elaborate more, is twofold. Is using AI to, first of all, be able to instantly measure the facades of the house, right? So within a millisecond, be able to say, okay, there's X amount of this material, X amount of this material. And then what we're working on, so that AI is getting pretty darn good on our end. We can identify areas of a house very accurately and get an estimate of the quantities. The next thing that we're working on is how do we, sort of attach prices to those quantities based on the markets that we're in. So right now, we're all over the United States. Obviously, every market throughout the country and across the world, where you're in Australia, is a little different. So we're working on methods such as using insurance practices, right, where they have an estimator to be able to pin more accurate pricing to those quantities. So that part is definitely evolving, but we continue to get better, and we think pretty soon we'll be pretty darn accurate on pricing for really any market that you're in.
Yeah, Jackie, do you want to expand on how builders actually go about using Dzinly as well? Like, if I came up to you as a new builder that didn't know much about you, what would be the process?
Sure. Well, it's super easy. We have it set up so that you have access to this really, little suite of tools, like your own little tool belt, and professionals if you needed assistance. But we also have it set up so that you can do everything online. You can easily see what you need to do. You click it, that's where, and then the website, it just takes you next step. So really, for a builder, I would say their first start is to show their clients. So they would most likely want to build a 3D model. And after that, if there's, we've had them come through and again, the client says, "Ooh, I didn't know it was going to look like that," or the slope of the roof or something. So then they want to access their architect. The lead time is, super long and they want to see something pretty quick. So they'll access our in-house architect to propose a new way to solve this problem. And then, we can mock that up for them in a realistic perspective, go ahead with all of the, colors, materials, and from there. And then after they finish that, it's not even just about the colors and materials. A builder member has access to a suite of tools and services that a typical homeowner doesn't. So let's say they want a rear yard design. Their client's interested in a pool, or maybe not straight away, but down the road. So there's a lot that we offer and that we can do for the builder member.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I'm interested to learn more about how your tool also uses AI. Matt, you mentioned it before, and it's a bit of a buzzword at the moment in the industry or across any industry. Yeah. But what does that actually look like? Is it helping just from the design aspects, or is it helping with material selections and things like that?
Well, to your point, Will, I think everybody's trying to incorporate the word AI into every, their business right now, just to try to kind of keep up with the trend or the forward movement. But really, we realized that using artificial intelligence was going to be important from the day we started this company, which was well before the buzzword became popular. So there's two things. Is on the design side of things, we're firm believers in that design should still include a professional human touch. In that, at least that holds true for now, is that people want to know that a professional looked at something and okay, those materials specified actually will work in that climate. Those are available. Whereas like a true AI design on the design side might give you a pretty picture, but it might not work on the cladding of your house. There's a number of factors. So that's number one, is we're using AI to assist designers to do things faster. So what I mean by that is they're able to, the house is our AI is able to identify every component of the house. On the design side of things, they can then apply materials and colors to that part of the house instantly, rather than trying to do mood boards and things like that. Once the design part's done, then becomes the the nuts and bolts of it is, okay, how much does this cost, and how do we build it, right? So on that side of things, we're constantly improving our AI. We have an entire team that works on this to be able to identify all the components of the house and do what I was saying earlier, which is, okay, what are the quantities there? What are all the other components that are needed to actually execute this? So doing things that traditionally would take somebody a long time to manually do takeoffs or do on-site measurements, and eliminating that. So we're using it in a number of different ways, essentially just trying to make everything faster, more efficient, and more accurate.
But on the design side, as far as AI, we're currently, AI it's a machine. It learns the more you feed it, and that's all it wants is data. But as far as the design side, yeah, we have humans that are actually doing it, but our AI machine is learning to, let's say somebody really selected this and say this combination. It's learning that you may also really love this color because you love this. You may actually be open to integrating wood into the exterior. Does that make sense? And that does not require the actual work of a human designer. The human designer got the, car going down the tracks, but that's where the AI machine is involved, I guess, in design, if that makes sense. It can suggest and all of that, but we don't ever use it just to pop out, designs. And there's a couple reasons for that. I don't know if you've ever used an AI tool for any type of design. I mean, I'm sure, there's tons, ChatGPT for like a design, whether you did your room or yourself or a person or cartoons, whatever it is. The problem with it is that it may look great, but it's not realistic. And the great part about Dzinly is we only alter the areas that you want to change. So if you say, I'm not open to changing my roof, your roof is as it actually is in the photograph. We don't alter the lighting. We don't do any of that. And the reason for that is because it ensures that the cladding colors or other components that we are proposing are going to go perfectly with your roof as is. Does that make sense? There's a lot of rendering companies and they give you this beautiful picture, but they're altering it. They're able to put these filters and all that. We don't do that. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And our designers work off of what you have, and we make sure that if you were going to go out and do this tomorrow and use what we said, it's going to look just like this.
Yeah, on a very simplistic level, I remember we created a bunch of images for marketing of houses and things like that. And just really simple things like they were missing a front door. There was no way to get in the house, but AI generated images, and I can imagine at a design level, there's just those subtle things which are, to your point, not realistic.
No, they're not. And that's why people are coming to us, because they're ready, and they're ready right now. They're not, just playing around and just wanting to see. They are very serious. They want to redo their home exterior.
But to your audience, Will, which is residential builders, is, if we can cut out the need to sit down and do takeoffs on plans, if we can cut out the need to, visit a house that you're doing a renovation on and take hand measurements, all these little things that are an hour here, an hour there of your day, we can allow these builders to focus on what's important, which is building the houses and focusing on doing that, not all the ancillary things.
Yeah. How much time do you think you are saving builders during that build process, or the design and build process?
Well, I mean, I think it depends on the project, obviously, but if you think of the time it takes to have your initial meeting with the client and kind of discuss it, and then take hand measurements of the areas, that's quite a bit of time. Once your client gets to material selections, if you don't have to be the one sitting in those meetings and you can let Dzinly do it with your design team, that's a significant amount of time. Once you get to actual finished modeling of the house, instead of having to sit there and print out blueprints and do hand takeoffs. That's a tremendous amount of time. So, the answer is, I think, in a spectrum of hours, but it's a lot of time, especially on a larger project, that we can save a builder.
And especially when the homeowner actually sees it. I can't tell you how many times this has happened. And they go, whoa, 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 whether it be that portico, it's actually going to be too large, or we need to make it. And so we're able to do these, subtle changes almost instantly versus waiting to get a hold of their architect to make them, propose them, draw them up. That's weeks, we're days. And then they may say, no, actually we'll go with what it is. But for the minimal cost it is, they want to see it. And we're able to do that instantly.
How specific is the material selection? Is it like based on actual suppliers and the grading of the product and everything?
Absolutely. It's all specs are included. So it's the manufacturer, the color, everything. If you wanted to go and purchase it tomorrow. And, with that, it's, not every product is available in every area, in every region.
Yeah.
We do our best to know, what those are and what is available and what isn't. But also, again, as we're set up, the more information, the better, So
do you have specific suppliers that you recommend through the process, or is it just literally like, could someone come with their own, preferences?
Absolutely. Oh yeah. Somebody could come and this happens a lot too. They say, I'm having this custom door made, or it could totally be custom. And if we can get a picture, I can get, a production designer to actually make that swatch, and we can get that on their house. So, totally. No, there's, companies that do custom work or whatever. Absolutely. A client can come to us with anything, and we can put it on your house.
Yeah. A builder can come with any brands that they like to work with.
Yep.
So anyway, yeah, totally specific.
Cool. So I guess what correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like there's a human touch throughout the process, which is just assisted with AI technology and other software, which is just accelerating the process of the design and build. Is that right?
Yeah.
Correct.
We think it's important. We're, at least for now, we think it's important, right? Is we're on the kind of the beginning strokes of this whole AI movement, and I'm not sure that people fully trust it, right? Are you going to trust AI on your client's home to do everything? I don't think it's quite there yet. So that's why we have a philosophy that we make sure that human touches everything throughout the process, but speeds it up by 100 times, which allows for quicker turnarounds and naturally lower prices. Now, in the future, will that change? It might, right? It might. But right now, we think that's important to keep a human touch.
Yeah, I think people will appreciate that. So, certainly at this point in the AI journey, to your point, there's a little bit of a lack of trust still around the effectiveness, especially when you're building a home or something like that.
Yeah, as there should be.
But it's advancing quickly.
You mentioned, Jackie, and my understanding of AI as well, it's historical data essentially, which is making the decisions of the machine. How do you then factor in like up-to-date trends and things like that into the designs and the material selections?
Well, that is truly, the more you see, the more you learn. And so in this day and age with, social media, TikTok, online presence, Pinterest, you can just, I encourage all the designers to just take a minute, take a cruise, see what's going on, flipping through magazines. We have a channel that's just dedicated, on Slack, that's just uploading just a picture. You see it, you're driving by a house or anything. You're like, oh, we got to track that material down. We have to. So it truly, and also too, with we have a handful of younger designers, and younger professionals they do not have ingrained in them this way they've been working for 20 something years. You know what I mean? Everything is exciting, everything is new, and everything's a possibility. And so that paired, with, an amazing collaboration with the seasoned professionals is just like, it's such a good partnership, So again, it's just the more you see. I mean, I come across, and we have, companies that reach out to us and want to know, hey, how can we be a part, and blah, blah, blah. And, I have meetings and I go through their products and I'm like, wow, this is really great. Like I've never seen it before, because they're just a small little, nugget trying to break out there. So again, there is no one resource that you can go to and be like, every single cladding material will be in here, right? There's not. So it's just up to your job as a professional and, designers and mine as a leader to just keep us on the forefront.
And I think part of your question was how does the machine learn those trends besides humans, right? So the one thing that we do is as we input new designs in material, the machine is starting to see that trend happening, right? So the AI is being trained to say, okay, there's a lot of board and batten that's being shown, or there's a lot of this color tones and things like that. But to Jackie's point, right now it starts with humans inputting and creating these designs, and then the AI being trained to pick up on those subtle cues in those designs between hundreds and thousands of designs. So it's a process that we as humans have to work and give the machine the material to get there with what it needs to learn.
Yeah, it just makes a lot of sense. There's no point in doing so much manual work if you can accelerate that process with technology.
Absolutely. Absolutely. As soon as you get them, where they're comfortable and like, okay, yeah, this is great. And then that's where, the human can step back a little bit. You hand it over to the client who then is, being recommended certain colors and materials by the AI that just knows that because a person that likes this genuinely likes this. You have a wood detail, in your eaves. You might be interested in, a wooden header over your window, or you know what I mean? There's just it's sort of endless. So yeah.
Yeah. So how does Dzinly integrate with other software that builders would be using for like construction management software or things like that, which they're using throughout the whole build process?
We don't have any direct integration at this point with outside softwares. Really what we're trying to pioneer is just the efficiency of getting from idea to reality from a construction design standpoint to build. So one of the things that we're looking at as we hit each milestone is what makes sense from an integration standpoint with different APIs and different things with this software. So we're a little bit premature on actual integrations with other software, but it's something that it's in our queue to be paying attention to.
It's a tricky one because there's so many construction softwares out there. So like if you tried to, integrate with all of them, that's going to be a pretty lengthy process.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing. There's no black and white answer to how to get a rendering or a 3D model or anything done. There's so many, and everyone does, different. So we're instead of going and trying to appeal to in this, we definitely are staying focused. But I will say that, we do listen to the masses and to where our clients are, hey, if we get enough, we have a meeting and we decide and we talk about, okay, let's say, we have enough. Should we, build this to make this work, or if not? But other than that, we've got a really good thing going. So we're staying pretty focused that way.
We're really good at taking a house, whether it's a picture or a plan, and getting the builder and the client through all the material selection, the validation of what's going to go where, the quantities that are needed. And that's what we're really focused on right now, because if we can get people from that point, which so many clients have such a hard time deciding, oh man, do I go to that stone or do I this or this or this? We can get over that hurdle. The rest is pretty easy. So that's really what we're highly focused on right now, is creating a solution that significantly lessens the time to get from plan view to realistic view to quantities.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, it's just you're staying really focused and just making sure that you can help save time essentially through that whole design process. What's the future look like for Dzinly? What's happening next 12, 18 months and beyond?
Well, we want to be known as the resource for exterior design and implementation. So whereas a lot of, going back to builder software and things like that, it's a lot of, most of it's geared more toward organization and, project flow and things like that. We want to be known where Dzinly is kind of where you go to start your project, to get the ball moving, to get the energy going with the client, to get the visuals. And so that's really what we're focused on. And we're focused on not only doing that for builders and homeowners, but also we have some big things in the work for realtors, distributors, things like that. So if we can create this whole network to where, realtor comes through with a new listing, and we have builders that are members, client buys a house, realtor came through Dzinly with some different ideas for the listing. Now we can pair the builder with that homeowner to execute the project. So taking our different buckets of clients and figuring out how to intertwine them so they can all benefit from one another. And I think that's the end goal, is to have this comprehensive ecosystem to not only where you can go to get the tools, but you can benefit with it without having to do any work, is getting great leads and all this different stuff. So that's where we see it all trending to. That's what our vision is. And
just having great recommended builders and contractors. And, it's crazy. And again, that all started because the amount of clients that they finished, they're like, great, I love this. Do you know anybody that can do it for me? And it's and so it's, again, everything is happening organically. We're not trying to force anything. We really are just listening to everybody and our clients. And if it happens enough, and then here we are. But with that being said, there's so many holes in the building and design process. It's so many different professionals that are involved, but not one leader, not one authority. And it's just kind of a mess. And if you talk to anybody that builds a house, everyone will say the exact same thing. It's an absolute nightmare. And so to be able to do that and with confidence and go, even if you just wanted a little addition or a portico built or dormer or whatever, and you came through Dzinly, that's where you got your design, that's where you got your contractor, and then you're happy, everyone's happy and confident. And also too, with the professionals, they have amazing and great leads where they're not even trying to sell it. These people are like, help me. And Dzinly said you could, so it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a few builders out there that like the sound of that, because quality leads is one of the biggest challenges in the industry at the moment.
Yes. But then not only that, what better lead? Not only do we give you the lead, but then we give you, the quantities, the construction drawings. It doesn't get any better than that. So,
well, I'm very excited to see where things go. I think this, this is the future of designing homes. I think powered by technology. So, great to hear what you guys are up to, and really appreciate you coming on the show today. Where's the best place for people to go next to find out more? Dzinly.com?
Dzinly.com. Dzinly.
Beautiful. Well, we'll include a link to that in the show notes. But Jackie, Matt, I really appreciate you coming on the show today. Thanks so much for sharing your expertise and everything, all the cool stuff you're doing at Dzinly to help out builders.
Thanks, Will.
Thank you for having us.
Cool. And also a big thank you to our listeners, wherever you are in the world. If you like the show today, please subscribe to Professional Builders Secrets on your platform of choice. And if you're feeling generous, leave us a review. But until next time, have a great day. This episode of Professional Builders Secrets is brought to you by Apparatus Contractor Services. Apparatus provides full scope, end-to-end QuickBooks precision construction accounting and CFO services for residential builders. If you feel like you can't completely trust your weekly and monthly financial reports, or you feel like you're flying blind, Apparatus will rebuild and operate your QuickBooks accounting system and give you precision construction accounting capability you can trust. Learn more at apparatusteam.com or on the APB Rewards Partner Directory.